Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Saira Mujtaba with the news at 9. The headlines. 14th Conference of Parties to UNCCD adopts Delhi Declaration, expressing support for new initiatives aimed at improving human health and well-being. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar reiterates India's commitment to achieving land degradation neutrality by 2030. World Bank to provide 3,000 crore rupees assistance for setting up food parks across the country. Jammu and Kashmir government approves a plan of 827 crore rupees under various centrally sponsored schemes. And in badminton, Sourabh Verma enters semifinals of Vietnam Open. The 14th Conference of Parties COP14 to United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification or UNCCD came to a close today with the adoption of the Delhi Declaration. During the extensive deliberations that lasted for 12 days, COP14 witnessed widespread participation from over 9,000 participants from across the globe at Greater Noida. In Delhi Declaration, the parties expressed support for new initiatives aiming to improve human health and well-being, the health of ecosystems, and to advance peace and security. Briefing media on the outcomes of COP14, Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar reiterated India's commitment to achieving land degradation neutrality by 2030.
India aims to raise its ambition of the total area that would be restored from its land degradation status from 21 million hectares to 26 million hectares between now and 2030.
Mr. Javadekar exuded confidence that all three Rio conventions will work in synergy. The minister also committed to provide an effective leadership to the UNCCD during his 2-year tenure of presidentship. In an unprecedented global campaign to save productive land, country parties have agreed to make the Sustainable Development Goal of achieving land degradation neutrality by 2030 a national target for action. Mr. Javadekar stated that Delhi Declaration is an ambitious statement of global action by each country on how to achieve land degradation neutrality.
We have announced that South-South cooperation through establishing a Centre of Sustainable Land Restoration for UNCCD country parties for their capacity building, exchange of database, information regarding land degradation neutrality, target setting through a Centre of Excellence with all satellite imagery and much more data for every country made available.
UNCCD Executive Secretary Ibrahim Saw highlighted the contribution of COP14 to the Climate Action Summit, stressing that land restoration is one of the cheapest solutions to address the global crisis of climate and biodiversity loss. During the 12-day conference, COP14 held thought-provoking discussions on land management, restoration of degraded land, drought, climate change, renewable energy, women empowerment, gender equality, water scarcity, and various other issues. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar today announced that 118 new community radio stations or CRS are in the process of being set up in the country. Out of these, 16 CRSs are being set up in left-wing extremism affected districts, 6 in most LWE affected districts, 25 in coastal districts, 17 in aspirational districts, 3 in Northeast and 2 in Jammu and Kashmir. The applications from NGOs, educational institutions and Krishi Vigyan Kendra for CRS have also been granted approvals. Making the announcement in New Delhi, Mr. Javadekar said these community radio stations are expected to become operational within the next 6 months. The Defence Acquisition Council DAC, chaired by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in New Delhi today, accorded approval for capital procurement for the services amounting to approximately 2,000 crore rupees. Maintaining focus on the Make in India initiative, the DAC accorded approval for indigenous development and production of the main gun 125mm armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot or APFSDS ammunition for T-72, T-90 tanks by the Indian industry, which would substantially enhance the enemy armor penetration capability. The first ever arrested landing of light combat aircraft Tejas took place at the shore-based test facility INS Hansa in Goa today. This will pave the way for this indigenous platform to undertake aircraft carrier landing demonstration on board the Indian Naval Aircraft Carrier Vikramaditya. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has congratulated the Navy for this major feat. A special CBI court today dismissed a plea by former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram seeking to surrender to the Enforcement Directorate in the INX Media money laundering case. Mr. Chidambaram is currently lodged in Delhi's Tihar jail under judicial custody in the INX Media corruption case, which is being probed by the CBI. He is also being investigated by the ED in the same case. The Calcutta High Court today vacated its order granting protection from arrest to former Kolkata Police Commissioner Rajiv Kumar in connection with the Saradha chit fund scam. The court also rejected Kumar's prayer for quashing of a CBI notice that sought his appearance for interrogation in the case. Kumar, who is currently the West Bengal CID Additional Director General, was part of a special investigation team set up by the state government to investigate the scam before the Supreme Court handed over the case to the CBI in 2014, along with other chit fund cases. In West Bengal, clashes broke out between police and left front activists at Howrah this afternoon. The activists were marching towards the state secretariat demanding employment for youth. They pelted stones, following which police opened tear gas shells and used water cannon to disperse them. Several people were injured during the clash. The injured have been admitted to a local hospital. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. Union Minister of State for Food Processing Industries, Rameshwar Teli, has said the World Bank will provide 3,000 crore rupees assistance to finance mini and mega food parks across the country. This will help boost farmers' income. He was addressing the 15th Indo-US Economic Summit organized by the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, North India Council or IACC-NIC in New Delhi today. In a statement, IACC-NIC quoted the minister as saying that minor formalities remain to be completed on this front before the first disbursement of the sanctioned amount is released. In Jammu and Kashmir, a plan of 827 crore rupees has been approved under various centrally sponsored schemes. State Chief Secretary B.V.R. Subramaniam today reviewed the implementation of the schemes during the last fiscal and subsequently approved the action plan for the current fiscal. Our correspondent has the details.
The schemes include Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, National Food Security Mission, National Mission on Agricultural Extension and Technology, and Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. In the meeting, a plan of 827 crore rupees was approved under these schemes for the state. While reviewing the progress registered during 2018-19 under these schemes and the project proposal for the year 2019-20, Chief Secretary emphasized on integrated development of agriculture and allied sectors to make farming a remunerative economic activity in Jammu and Kashmir. R.K. Rana, AIR News, Jammu.
Meanwhile, as part of Mission Reach Out, the Indian Army has been conducting various people-friendly campaigns in the state to highlight the benefits of removing Article 370 among the local population. These include community empowerment drives, medical aid camps, and communal harmony workshops. In this regard, the Army conducted an interaction drive with local people, school students, and sarpanchs in border village Naga of Jammu Division. Railway Minister Piyush Goyal today inaugurated several facilities for rail passengers, including 11 foot-over bridges or FOBs at suburban stations in Mumbai. At a function at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus or CSMT, Mr. Goyal also launched increased services of the CSMT Nizamuddin Rajdhani Express. Indian Railways have removed the Flexi Fare scheme from the premium Humsafar trains and also decided to introduce sleeper class coaches in it. Ministry of Railways in a release said it will be a big relief to the railway passengers who can now enjoy the modern facilities of Humsafar trains at lower rates. The Tatkal charges in Humsafar have also been reduced from existing 1.5 times to 1.3 times of Humsafar base fare. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's clarion call to shun single-use plastic is getting all-round support with several ministries and organizations taking lead in this direction. The The single-use plastic items are intended to be used only once before they are thrown away. Several union ministries and bodies are taking concrete steps to ban single-use plastic and create awareness among the people in this regard. We have a report.
Railways have set a target of installing plastic water bottle crushers at 407 stations in metros and big cities before 2nd of next month. It will also undertake several measures on plastic waste management, including wide publicity on ban on single-use plastic. The Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution Ministry has announced a blanket ban on all type of single-use plastic products in the ministry and its all PSUs from 15th of this month. Air India will also completely ban use of plastic in the airlines. The Cooperative Milk Federation and private dairies have also been asked to at least halve the use of plastic. Divakar, Air News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the death of several people in boat tragedy in Bhopal. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, the capsizing of a boat at Khatlapura Ghat in Bhopal is saddening. He said his thoughts are with the families of those who lost their lives. 11 people drowned today when a boat carrying them capsized during Ganesh idol immersion in Lower Lake of Bhopal. President Ramnath Kovind has laid emphasis on intensifying the economic and technological engagements between India and Switzerland. Mr. Kovind was speaking before the members of the Federal Council in the Swiss Parliament. The President called the arrangement of automatic exchange of information on tax matters with Switzerland as a positive development that will help in tackling all manifestations of terrorism.
We will have the first automatic exchange of information on tax matters in the coming weeks. It is a very positive development. Tax evasion and money laundering have strong links with terrorism. The scourge of terrorism is among the gravest challenges that the world faces today. India has been a victim of state-sponsored terrorism for decades. We seek your support to enhance global efforts to defeat and destroy all manifestations of terrorism.
Mr. Kovind reached the Swiss capital Bern on Wednesday on the second leg of his three-nation tour to Iceland, Switzerland and Slovenia. Our correspondent covering the President's visit has filed this report.
A letter of intent was signed today in Bern to create an Indo-Switzerland Science and Innovation Alliance to step up the existing cooperation in these fields. An MOU was also signed to enhance bilateral partnership to tackle climate change. The third agreement was to renew the Hindi chair at University of Lausanne. Tomorrow, the President will unveil the bust of Mahatma Gandhi in Villeneuve, a small suburb near Bern. The father of the nation had visited the place in 1931 and had met Nobel laureate Romain Rolland. Sudhindra, AIR News, Switzerland.
Benchmark's domestic equity indices today logged modest gains amid positive cues from global stock. A report.
Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 281 points, or 0.76% to close at 37,385. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange also added 93 points, or 0.85% to settle at 11,076. The rupee at the foreign exchange market also strengthened 22 paise to 70 rupees and 92 paise against the US dollar. Arjun Chaudhary, AIR News.
In badminton, Sourabh Verma stormed into the men's singles semifinals of the Vietnam Open BWF Tour Super 100 tournament. Second seed Sourabh defeated local hero Tien Minh Nguyen in straight games at Ho Chi Minh City today. The reigning national champion will face Japan's Minoru Koga next. In World Men's Boxing Championship, India's Duryodhan Singh Negi defeated Korean Astoyan of Armenia 4-1 in his opening bout in the 69 kgs category at Ekaterinburg in Russia today. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. 14th Conference of Parties to UNCCD adopts Delhi Declaration expressing support for new initiatives aimed at improving human health and well-being. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar reiterates India's commitment to achieving land degradation neutrality by 2030. World Bank to provide 3,000 crore rupees assistance for setting up food parks across the country. Jammu and Kashmir government approves a plan of 827 crore rupees under various centrally sponsored schemes. And in badminton, Sourabh Verma enters semifinals of Vietnam Open. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com. That's all in the news at 9. Good night.